for the past 5 years. We came up short on a few occasions, losing the game in the last few minutes. They're a fantastic team, they're a fit team, and they keep their calm under pressure quite a lot. So we've got to focus on our game to make sure we eliminate our mistakes, do what we do well, and try and apply some pressure on them, which is a difficult thing to do. Very good rugby team at this stage. I'd like to think they're a brilliant rugby team. They've got a fantastic set piece, a very good scrum. The line-out and the line-out contesting is definitely the best in the business. They've played so many test matches together. The 9 and 10 are pretty special at this stage. I think Bowden is probably one of the 2 or 3 form players in world rugby at this stage. The way that the centres came in, to come in for Nonu and for Smith and for Sunnybill, the back three are solid as always. So fantastic rugby team. Rightly at this stage, the number 1 side in the world. But like I said before, we're looking forward to the test match. South Africa versus New Zealand, always a pretty special test match, and we've got to do what we've got to do. Obviously we believe that we've got a few strengths, and we want to force that onto them. I'd like to believe that every rugby game has got its own character. It's a different ball, a different field, 30 different players, a different referee, so you've got to apply pressure, and this is test match rugby. You've got to be able to take pressure and apply pressure, and the team that does that the best for 80 minutes will win the test. Obviously you've got to stay away from some of their strengths, try and apply yours. They're a fantastic rugby nation at this stage. They've won the last 2 World Cups. They've got a fantastic coaching staff that seem to keep their continuity quite well. Their succession planning are very good. If you just look at their current side, there's not a lot of injuries. It seems like they're hitting top form. So a lot of respect for New Zealand and the way they do things. Coach in the eye, have a beer and say, well done.
Johann, how long, you've been around coaching and obviously teams for a wee while now, how long normally in your experience does it take for a new group to bed in all of their processes, all of their game plans? How long is what would you class as an acceptable time frame for a new group, or how long has it taken for you in the past?
At the Bulls it took quite a few years, and all credit to Heineke and his coaching staff and the players back then. It took 6 or 7 years to win Super Rugby for the first time, and another 2 years to win it 2 more times. If you look at the Crusaders, how long it's taken them in terms of Southern Hemisphere rugby. A team like the Chiefs, they've been together for 4, 5, 6 years now. If you look at the successful Brumbies teams of the past, if you look at New Zealand right now, the quarter-final loss in 2007, came back together for 8 years, won that World Cup. When Steve took over, I think it was close to 100 test matches, the assistant of the All Blacks, and then he became the head coach, and they've gone from strength to strength. So to answer your question, I think it takes time. Experience you can't buy, and the only way that you can get that is to play test matches together.
The follow-up question then is basically, how hard is it to coach them when you've got a fan base, a media looking for such instantaneous results in that environment?
We've got a fantastic rugby mad nation in South Africa that demands results and that loves to see the Springboks win. Obviously, that's our job, to win and to perform, and that's what we're here for, and that's what we've got to do, and that's what we've got to deliver. It's not easy, but that's our job, and that's what we've got to do. We're a proud rugby nation. We'd love to be number 1, and at this stage we are chasing number 1. Passing, you will be tested, and that's why you coach. I believe that's why you play, is you want to be measured against the best, and you want to come out the best from your side. So that's why my big thing about New Zealand is respect. I respect the way they do things. I respect the way that they conduct themselves.